Ma'am, I need you to step away from the vehicle.
Officer, we just bought groceries. What's the problem?
I said step away. Now.
My son is in the car. He's 12 years old. Can you please tell me what this is about?
Officer Derek Paulson had 16 years with the Greenfield Police Department and 9 formal complaints in his personnel file when he made the worst decision of his career on a Saturday afternoon in March 2023 outside a Target in suburban Milwaukee. What started as a routine patrol shift would end with his termination, a federal civil rights lawsuit, and a settlement that cost taxpayers over $600,000. Michelle Reeves wasn't speeding, wasn't running a red light, wasn't doing anything illegal. She was loading groceries into her SUV with her 12-year-old son when Paulson's patrol car pulled into the parking lot. Michelle, a corporate attorney with 14 years of litigation experience, had just finished her weekly shopping trip. Cereal boxes, milk, chicken breasts, a birthday cake for her son's upcoming party. But something in Paulson's mind clicked when he saw her. What happened next would destroy his career, expose a department's failure to address years of documented bias, and force Milwaukee County to implement mandatory bias training across every precinct. Before we break down exactly what went wrong here, drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. And if stories about justice and accountability matter to you, hit that subscribe button. These stories need to reach everyone. Derek Paulson's record should have ended his career years earlier. 9 complaints. 7 involved people of color. 5 mentioned aggressive behavior or unnecessary escalation. His supervisors documented concerns, filed reports, recommended additional training. Nothing happened. Annual performance reviews flagged his confrontational approach and difficulty with de-escalation. One supervisor wrote in 2019, Officer Paulson continues to generate complaints at a rate significantly higher than department average. Recommend immediate review. That recommendation went nowhere. This failure would cost everyone. It was 3:17 p.m. on the 11th of March 2023. Michelle had parked near the Target entrance. Close spot, good visibility. Her son, Marcus, sat in the passenger seat, scrolling through his phone while she loaded bags into the trunk. Paulson's patrol car entered the parking lot at 3:14 p.m. His dashboard camera shows him driving past the main entrance, slowing near Michelle's vehicle, then circling back. He parked 20 feet away. No dispatch call. No reported crime. No justification documented in his later report. He watched them for 90 seconds before activating his lights. Michelle saw the lights in her rearview mirror and felt her stomach drop. She'd had this conversation with Marcus already, the talk every black parent has. Keep your hands visible. Don't make sudden movements. Be respectful even when you're right. She walked toward the car, hands empty, wondering what she'd done wrong. Ma'am, I need to see your ID and registration. Michelle did exactly what any attorney would do. She asked questions. Officer, can you tell me why you've stopped me? I don't need to explain myself. ID and registration. Now. Michelle complied. Pulled her license from her wallet. Retrieved the registration from her glove box, while Marcus sat frozen in the passenger seat. Paulson examined both documents at his vehicle for nearly 4 minutes. Her license? Valid. No warrants. No violations. Clean record. He called it in anyway. Dispatch confirmed. No wants, no warrants. Clean. Paulson didn't return to his car. Instead, he approached Michelle's driver's side door and ordered her out of the vehicle. Ma'am, step out of the car. Officer, you haven't told me what I did wrong. My son is right here. He's scared. I won't ask again. Sarah Cho was returning her shopping cart when she noticed the lights. Then she saw Michelle standing beside her SUV, hands at her sides. Voice calm but firm. A 12-year-old boy visible in the passenger seat, phone down, hands on his lap. No yelling, no resistance, just a woman asking why she'd been stopped. And an officer who was becoming more aggressive by the second. Sarah pulled out her phone. She wasn't the only one. Target's parking lot had dozens of shoppers. 3 more phones came out within minutes. Every angle covered. This stop was being documented from every direction. Type badge in the comments if you think every traffic stop should be recorded like this. Because what happened next is exactly why documentation matters. Paulson ordered Michelle out of the vehicle a third time. She asked again, "What is the reason for this stop?" "Suspicious behavior." "What behavior?" "I was loading groceries. Step out of the vehicle or I'll remove you myself." Michelle's litigation instincts kicked in. She started documenting aloud. "For the record, I have complied with every request. I have provided my license and registration. I have asked multiple times for the reason I was stopped, and you have not provided a legal justification." Paulson's body language changed. His hand moved to his belt. Marcus started crying. "Mom, please, just do what he says." Michelle stepped out. Paulson ordered her to place her hands on the hood, in the middle of a Target parking lot, in front of dozens of witnesses. She complied. He began a pat-down search. "Officer, what is the probable cause for this search?" "You're being detained for suspicious activity." "What suspicious activity? Please state it clearly." Paulson didn't answer. He radioed for backup instead. The information he gave dispatch was completely false. "I have a female subject, non-compliant, hostile behavior, possible shoplifting." Anyone watching the scene could see this was a lie. Michelle stood calm, hands on her vehicle, asking legal questions in a steady voice. She hadn't shoplifted. She had receipts in her purse, groceries in her trunk, witnesses filming everything. 2 units arrived within 4 minutes. Officers Maria Gonzalez and Tyler Webb stepped out and immediately assessed the situation. A woman in business casual, hands on a vehicle, a child crying in the passenger seat, phones recording from multiple angles. Webb approached Paulson. "What do we have?" Subject was acting suspicious, refused to comply with orders. Gonzalez walked to Michelle. "Ma'am, are you okay?" Michelle kept her voice calm and professional. "I'm an attorney. I have provided my license and registration. I have asked multiple times for the legal basis of this stop. I have not received an answer. My son is 12 years old, and he's terrified. I would like to know what crime I'm suspected of committing." Gonzalez looked at Paulson. "Derek, what's the stop for?" Silence. Webb reviewed Michelle's license and registration. Clean record. Current tags. No violations. He walked to Paulson's patrol car and checked the dashcam timestamp. 3:14 p.m. Paulson enters parking lot. 3:16 p.m. Paulson circles Michelle's vehicle. 3:17 p.m. Lights activated. No traffic violation visible. No erratic driving. No suspicious behavior. Webb's jaw tightened. He approached Paulson. "Derek? There's no violation here. She was acting suspicious." "Suspicious how?" "Just something seemed off." Webb looked at Michelle, then at Marcus crying in the passenger seat, then at the growing crowd of witnesses with their phones out. "Derek, we need to end this stop right now." Gonzalez approached Michelle. "Ma'am, you're free to go. I apologize for the inconvenience." Michelle didn't move. "I want his name and badge number. I want the reason for this stop documented, and I want to file a formal complaint." She got all 3. Paulson stood near his patrol car, silent, while Gonzalez provided the information. The parking lot videos would later show what Paulson couldn't articulate during the stop. He had no reason, no traffic violation, no suspicious behavior, nothing. Just a black woman loading groceries with her son. That was enough for Derek Paulson to activate his lights, detain her, pat her down, and call for backup. If you're finding this as infuriating as we did when we researched it, make sure you're subscribed, because this story gets worse before it gets better, and these cases deserve to be seen. Michelle filed her complaint at 4:47 p.m. the same day. She included witness contact information, video timestamps, the names of all 3 officers, a detailed timeline of every statement made. The Greenfield Police Department launched an internal investigation within 72 hours. What they found was damning. Paulson's body camera footage showed everything. The unprovoked stop, the lack of probable cause, the false report to dispatch, the escalation despite Michelle's compliance. But the investigation revealed something worse. This wasn't isolated. Department records show Paulson had stopped black drivers at a rate nearly 6 times higher than white drivers over the previous 3 years. He generated complaints at triple the department average. Multiple supervisors flagged concerns. Yet he remained on patrol, with a badge, with a gun, with authority. The investigation team pulled every traffic stop Paulson had made in the previous 5 years. The data was staggering. Out of 847 total stops, asterisk 412 involved black drivers, 48.6% of his stops. Asterisk Milwaukee County demographics, 14% black population. Asterisk Paulson's stop rate for black drivers, 6.2 times higher than their population percentage. Complaint breakdown. Asterisk 9, formal complaints. Asterisk 7 involved people of color. Asterisk 5 mentioned aggressive behavior or unnecessary escalation. Asterisk 3 mentioned racial profiling. Asterisk 0 resulted in discipline beyond additional training. One complaint from 2021 detailed an eerily similar incident. Black professional, parking lot stop, no violation, pat-down search, false report to dispatch. That officer received a written warning. He was back on patrol the next day. The investigation identified multiple system failures. Failure has shown supervisory oversight. Despite 9 complaints, Paulson never faced serious disciplinary action. His supervisors documented concerns but recommended only additional training. That training either never happened or proved completely ineffective. Failure #2. Early warning system. The department had an early intervention program designed to flag officers generating excessive complaints. Paulson triggered alerts in 2019, 2021, and 2022. No interventions occurred. Failure #3. Traffic stop data analysis. The department collected racial data on traffic stops but never analyzed it. If they had reviewed Paulson's numbers, the pattern would have been obvious years earlier. Failure #4. Complaint follow-through. Multiple complaints mentioned similar behavior patterns: unjustified stops, aggressive demeanor, false reporting. No one connected the dots. The system designed to catch officers like Paulson had every piece of information it needed. It caught nothing. Legal experts called it textbook discrimination. Professor Janet Williams, civil rights attorney and former DOJ prosecutor, this stop violated the Fourth Amendment from the moment Officer Paulson activated his lights. No reasonable suspicion, no probable cause, just bias. Dr. Raymond Tucker, police accountability researcher. When an officer stops drivers of one race at 6 times their population rate, that's not coincidence, that's pattern, that's bias. And when supervisors document that pattern but take no action, the entire department becomes liable. The Milwaukee NAACP issued a statement. Michelle Reeves is a successful attorney who knew her rights and could articulate them clearly. How many other people did Officer Paulson stop who didn't have her resources? Who didn't know what questions to ask? Who didn't have their stop recorded? Stories like these are why this channel exists. If you believe accountability matters, hit subscribe. Because we're not done yet, the consequences are coming. Michelle retained Wilson and Associates, a firm specializing in civil rights litigation and owned by a close colleague of hers. They filed a federal lawsuit 41 days after the incident, named defendants. Asterisk Officer Derek Paulson, individual capacity. Asterisk Greenfield Police Department. Asterisk Milwaukee County. Asterisk Police Chief Robert Hammond. Asterisk 3 named supervisors who documented concerns but took no action. Claims. Asterisk Fourth Amendment violation, unlawful, stop and search. Asterisk 14th Amendment violation, equal protection. Asterisk Wisconsin state law violations, false imprisonment, emotional distress. Asterisk municipal liability, failure to train, failure to supervise, failure to discipline. Damages requested, $2.4 million plus attorney fees, costs, and mandatory policy reforms. The lawsuit included something unusual, a demand for Marcus's therapy costs. The 12-year-old had developed anxiety about police encounters. He refused to go to that target. He panicked when he saw patrol cars. A routine grocery trip had traumatized a child. Chief Hammond held a press conference 11 days after the lawsuit was filed. We take these allegations seriously. Officer Paulson has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of both the internal investigation and the civil proceedings. Reporters asked about the pattern in Paulson's stop data. We are reviewing all traffic stop data across the department. If systemic issues are identified, we will address them. They asked about the supervisors who documented concerns but took no action. Personnel matters are confidential. I cannot comment on specific disciplinary actions. They asked if Paulson would return to duty. Hammond paused. That decision will be made based on the investigation findings. The answer was telling. He didn't say yes. The internal investigation concluded 63 days after the incident. Findings: asterisk, Paulson violated department policy on traffic stops, no justification. Asterisk, Paulson violated policy on searches, no probable cause. Asterisk, Paulson provided false information to dispatch, dishonesty. Asterisk, Paulson failed to de-escalate, escalated instead. Asterisk, Paulson's stop pattern demonstrated bias. Recommendation: termination. Chief Hammond accepted the recommendation. Derek Paulson was fired on a Wednesday morning in May 2023. 16 years. Pension not yet vested. Unemployable in law enforcement. The union immediately filed a grievance. It was denied within 3 weeks. The termination made front-page news. Milwaukee Journal: officer fired after unlawful stop of attorney and son. Community activists called it long overdue. The Milwaukee NAACP: one termination doesn't fix a broken system. What about the supervisors who ignored 9 complaints? What about the early warning system that failed? What about the other officers with similar patterns? Former colleagues defended Paulson. He was a good cop. Everyone makes mistakes. Critics responded. 9 complaints over 16 years isn't a mistake. It's a pattern. Sarah Cho, the witness who recorded the stop: I'm glad I had my phone out. I'm glad other people did too, because without that video, who would have believed her? Milwaukee County's legal team knew they had a problem. The body camera footage was damning. The witness videos were worse. Paulson's stop data eliminated any claim of isolated incident. The documented supervisory failures showed institutional liability. They made an initial offer, $150,000. Michelle's attorneys rejected it within hours. Second offer, $300,000 plus mandatory bias training for all officers. Rejected. Third offer, $450,000 plus training plus policy reforms. Michelle's team countered. $800,000 plus comprehensive reforms plus public acknowledgement of wrongdoing. County attorneys balked. That's excessive. Michelle's lead attorney responded, your officer detained a woman and her 12-year-old son in a parking lot for loading groceries. He had no legal justification. He lied to dispatch. He traumatized a child. Your supervisors documented his pattern for years and did nothing. Take it to trial if you think a jury will side with you. The county requested mediation. Federal mediation occurred over 2 full days. Michelle made her position clear. This isn't about the money. This is about making sure no other mother and son go through what we did. Her demands: asterisk, public acknowledgement of constitutional violations. Asterisk, mandatory bias training for all officers annual, not one time. Asterisk, traffic stop data collection with quarterly public reporting. Asterisk, early intervention system overhaul with external oversight. Asterisk, therapy costs for Marcus, ongoing. Asterisk, attorney fees and costs. Milwaukee County agreed to everything except the settlement amount. After 18 hours of negotiation, they reached an agreement. 650 0 to Michelle and Marcus. Asterisk, all requested policy reforms. Asterisk, public statement from the chief and county executive acknowledging constitutional violations. Asterisk, 3 years of external monitoring. Asterisk, attorney fees, $187,000. Total cost to taxpayers, $802,000. The settlement was finalized on the 14th of September 2023, exactly 6 months after the incident. The settlement triggered department-wide changes. New policies implemented within 90 days. Traffic stop reforms. Asterisk, officers must articulate reasonable suspicion before activating lights. Asterisk, all stops require documentation of specific violation or suspicious behavior. Asterisk, supervisors review all stops monthly for patterns. Data collection. Asterisk, race, age, gender recorded for every stop. Asterisk, data published quarterly on department website. Asterisk. Independent analysis conducted annually. Early intervention system. Asterisk. Automated alerts trigger after 3 complaints. Previously. 5. Asterisk. Mandatory review by command staff within 14 days. Asterisk. External Oversight Committee reviews all flagged officers. Training requirements. Asterisk. 16 hours annual bias training, previously 4 hours one time. Asterisk. Scenario-based de-escalation training quarterly. Asterisk. Community interaction training with local organizations. Accountability measures. Asterisk. Supervisors who fail to address flagged officers face discipline. Asterisk. Annual performance reviews include bias metrics. Asterisk. Public complaint process streamlined with online portal. The reforms applied to all 312 officers across 6 precincts. Within weeks of the settlement announcement, other people came forward. 7 formal complaints filed against other Greenfield officers. 4 involved similar patterns. Unjustified stops, aggressive behavior, racial disparities. The External Oversight Committee reviewed 3 years of traffic stop data across the entire department. They found 4 other officers with stop patterns similar to Paulson's. All 4 were placed on desk duty pending investigation. 2 eventually resigned. 1 was terminated. 1 accepted a demotion and mandatory retraining. Michelle's case had exposed something bigger than one bad officer. It revealed institutional failures that allowed bias to persist unchecked for years. Derek Paulson's life collapsed completely, unemployable in law enforcement anywhere in Wisconsin. Neighboring states declined his applications. Private security companies wouldn't touch him. He lost his health insurance when he was terminated. His wife left him 8 months later. He was forced to sell his house and relocate to a different state. Public records show he now works in warehouse logistics in Tennessee under a different name. His pension 16 years of contributions was forfeit because he hadn't reached the 20-year vesting threshold. He gave one interview to a local paper 6 months after his termination. "I made mistakes. I know that now. But I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I was just doing my job the way I was trained." Reporters asked about the 9 complaints. "I don't want to talk about the past." They asked if he'd apologized to Michelle and Marcus. He ended the interview. As of this writing, he has never publicly apologized. Michelle used her platform differently. She established the Marcus Reeves Foundation, named for her son, focused on police accountability and community education. The foundation provides asterisk, free legal clinics on civil rights and police interactions, asterisk, youth workshops on constitutional protections, asterisk, know your rights materials distributed to schools, asterisk, scholarship fund for students pursuing civil rights law. Michelle speaks regularly at law schools, police academies, and community events. Her message is consistent. What happened to us happens to thousands of families every year. Most don't have the resources, knowledge, or documentation to fight back. That needs to change. Marcus, now 14, has spoken at several events. "I used to be scared of police. Now I understand my rights. That's what changed everything." The foundation has distributed over 50,000 Know Your Rights cards across Milwaukee County. Michelle returned to practicing corporate law but takes pro bono civil rights cases quarterly. Michelle Reeves, still practicing law in Milwaukee. Foundation founder, frequent speaker on civil rights issues. Marcus Reeves, thriving in high school, considering a career in civil rights law or journalism. Derek Paulson, living in Tennessee, working warehouse job, no public social media presence. Officer Maria Gonzalez, promoted to sergeant, now trains new recruit on de-escalation and bias recognition. Officer Tyler Webb, still with Greenfield PD, serves on the Community Oversight Committee. Chief Robert Hammond, retired 8 months after the settlement, cited personal reasons. Greenfield Police Department, traffic stop complaints down 41% since reforms implemented. Community trust surveys show improvement. External Oversight Committee issues quarterly reports. Has paid out $3.2 million in police-related settlements since 2020. Michelle's case was the catalyst for county-wide review of law enforcement practices. The numbers tell part of the story. Asterisk $615,000 settlement. Asterisk $187,000 in attorney fees. Asterisk $802,000 total taxpayer cost. Asterisk 312 officers, retrained, *6, precincts reformed, *4 additional officers disciplined, *41% reduction in traffic stop complaints, 50,000 plus Know Your Rights cards distributed, but some impacts can't be measured in numbers. A mother who can now take her son grocery shopping without panic attacks, a 12-year-old who learned he has rights and a voice, a department forced to confront patterns it ignored for years, a community empowered with knowledge and documentation, and hundreds of families who will never experience what Michelle and Marcus did because one woman refused to let it go. Derek Paulson made the worst decision of his career when he activated his lights outside that target. He lost everything: his job, his pension, his family, his future. Michelle Reeves gained something: a platform, a purpose, and proof that the system can be forced to change, not through silence, through documentation, determination, and demands for something better. This case reshaped an entire police department. But what we uncovered next involves an officer whose abuse of power went even further and the department that tried to cover it up. Well, click on the left-hand side to see the video.